1. Bryce Canyon National Park, Utah. An abundance of rock chimneys fill several natural amphitheaters which comprise Bryce Canyon National Park. Located in southwestern Utah, the unique canyon is home to the largest collection of hoodoos spindly rock towers in the world, which are especially dazzling as the early morning sunlight hits the canyon. Or, for that matter, when they're coated in a light dusting of snow in winter. The national park has a difference in elevation of more than 2,000 feet 610 m, meaning it has 3 different climate zones which are home to a rich array of wildlife and plants. Hoodoo's irregular columns of rock exist on every continent. But here is the largest concentration found anywhere on Earth. Situated along a high plateau at the top of the Grand Staircase, the park's high elevations include numerous life communities. 2. Horseshoe Bend, Arizona. The aptly named Horseshoe Bend looks almost as if a giant horseshoe has been embossed into the earth. This gorgeous canyon, located near Page, actually owes its distinctive U-shaped curve to the meandering course of the Colorado River, which carved it out over millions of years. It's no wonder the ultra-photogenic spot has proven such a hit with visitors. It's just 5 miles 8 kilometers downstream of Glen Canyon Dam and Lake Powell II. A social media darling, Horseshoe Bend has become one of the most recognized and visited places in Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. The parking lot and trailhead is located off U.S. Highway 89, approximately 5 miles 8 kilometers south of the Carl Hayden Visitor Center. Changes are underway in this busy and beautiful place, including expanded parking and trail maintenance. Much of the rim remains exposed, so watch your footing and keep track of children. 3. Grand Prismatic Spring, Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming. At 370 feet 113 m in diameter, Yellowstone's Grand Prismatic Spring is America's largest hot spring and the 3rd largest in the world. Its ultra-vivid colors, which might look like the result of some serious photo editing, are actually formed by bacteria. In the center, it's too hot for almost any bacteria to survive. So the water appears clear and blue due to the scattering of blue wavelengths, the same effect that makes the ocean look blue. But as the water spreads outwards, it cools down and can foster different types of bacteria, which produce the green and yellow bands on the outside. Old Faithful may be more famous, but the Grand Prismatic Hot Spring is the most photographed thermal feature in Yellowstone. That's because of its crazy bright colors and enormous size. 4. Antelope Canyon, Arizona. From every angle, Antelope Canyon is totally mesmerizing, with its rippling sandstone walls taking on myriad organic forms. Situated within the Navajo Nation Reserve in northern Arizona, the narrow slot canyon is just 8 to 12 feet 3.7 m wide in places, making for a dramatic array of colors as the light beams into it at different times of day. It was formed by flash flooding, which eroded away at the bedrock over thousands of years, and whipping winds, which hurled sand at the canyon walls and created the swirling shapes we see today. Guided tours are required to visit Antelope Canyon, located on private land within the Navajo Nation. Several authorized tour operators in the area lead groups to the canyon and impart their knowledge about the area's history and geology. 5. Maroon Bells, Colorado. Panoramic views don't get much more perfect than this. The oft-photographed Maroon Bells in Colorado's White River National Forest are 2 peaks, Maroon Peak and North Maroon Peak, which tower more than 14,000 feet 267 m above sea level and are reflected in the crystal-clear Maroon Lake below. The landscape only gets even more stunning when you throw in candy floss clouds and pink-tinged light at sunset. Explore Aspen's Maroon Bells, the most photographed mountains in North America, and discover how a journey through over 300 million years of jagged stone inspires travelers from around the world to defy ordinary. The Maroon Bells, a series of distinctively bell-shaped, wine-colored peaks towering 14,000 feet above the pristine, glacial Maroon Creek Valley, offer some of the most spectacular natural views in the world. 6. Bonneville Salt Flats, Utah. It's hard to grasp the sheer vastness of the Bonneville Salt Flats just from looking at them. The exceptionally smooth, seemingly never-ending salt crust encompasses a massive 30,000 acres of northwest Utah and was formed when Lake Bonneville began to recede at the end of the last ice age. The minerals it left behind, gypsum, halite, common table salt, and small concentrations of potassium and magnesium, form the salt crust. The salt flats are used for land speed racing, archery competitions, running races, photography, videography, and scientific research projects. Public wishing to utilize the salt flats for these purposes need a special recreation or film permit from the BLM Salt Lake Field Office. 7. The Palouse, Washington, Idaho. The long underrated Palouse is finally beginning to get the attention it deserves for its breathtaking beauty. The farming region, which spreads across southeast Washington and north-central Idaho, is known for its rolling fields which turn golden and yellow during the fall harvest season and lush green in spring and summer. These captivating hills were formed over tens of thousands of years from wind-blown dust and silt from drier climes, creating the gently undulating landscape we see today. The Palouse is the most serene and pastoral of the 7 wonders of Washington state. It is a region in southeastern Washington characterized by gentle rolling hills covered with wheat fields. The hills were formed over tens of thousands of years from wind-blown dust and silt, called loess, from dry regions to the southwest. 8. Lake Tahoe, California/Nevada. Such crystal clear, bright blue waters are hard to come by. So when you combine them with a smattering of rocky islets and the snow-capped Sierra Nevada mountains, the full effect is astounding. Located on the California-Nevada border, this 193 square mile 500 square kilometers lake is a popular spot with walkers, skiers, nature lovers and adventurers at all times of the year. Basking in its 300 days of sunshine, Lake Tahoe is a haven for outdoor fun in every season. Swimming, kayaking and windsurfing are popular in the summer months, while epic snowfall makes for spectacular skiing in winter. For those who prefer indoor fun, there's plenty of that in Tahoe, too. With 24-hour casinos and a flashy nightlife scene, the area has a tangible Vegas vibe. A sprinkle of bling, if you will. 9. Badlands National Park, South Dakota. While the moniker might seem misleading for such a gorgeous landscape, Badlands got its name from the Lakota people who called it Mako Sikat, translating to bad lands, because its extreme terrain was difficult to cross. Given that the 244,000-acre national park near South Dakota's Black Hills is filled with epic canyons, spires and buttes, you can see why. The unusual striped rock was formed over the course of millions of years, as layers of silt, sand and clay piled up and compressed. The rugged beauty of the Badlands draws visitors from around the world. These striking geologic deposits contain one of the world's richest fossil beds. Ancient horses and rhinos once roamed here. The park's 244,000 acres protect an expanse of mixed grass prairie where bison, bighorn sheep, prairie dogs, and black-footed ferrets live today. 10. Monument Valley Navajo Tribal Park, Arizona/Utah. With its lofty sandstone buttes rising up from a vibrant red valley floor, Monument Valley is unbelievably beautiful. This epic landscape on the Utah-Arizona state border is part of the Navajo Nation, a 16 million-acre region which is home to around 250,000 members of the Navajo tribe. Today, visitors can usually enjoy guided tours from Navajo operators, sample traditional cuisine and peruse local crafts within easy reach of the park's visitor center. While visiting the Monument Valley, the 17-mile loop road has reopened. Currently, with the winter hours in effect, we want all travelers to know that all entry is based on first come, first served entry. We do not accept motorcycles into the loop drive, due to the rough terrain and deep sand dunes in the area. 11. White Sands National Park, New Mexico. There's a real sense of being at the end of the earth at White Sands National Park, situated in the Tularosa Basin of southeastern New Mexico. Here, paper white, wind-carved sand dunes stretch as far as the eye can see. In fact, it's the largest gypsum dune field in the world at 275 square miles 712 square kilometers. The spectacular sand dunes, which range in elevation from 3,890 to 4,116 feet 1,186 to 1,255 m, are best viewed at sunrise or sunset when they're awash with bluish light. White Sands National Park protects the world's largest gypsum dune field. and the unique plants and animals that survive in this otherworldly place. Between White Sands Missile Range and Holloman Air Force Base, the magnificent pure white dunes provide excellent recreation opportunities. Visitors can picnic. 12. Kenai Fjords National Park, Alaska. Filled with jaw-dropping scenery at every turn, Kenai Fjords is easily one of Alaska's most picturesque national parks. One of its most impressive features is the Harding Icefield. A 714 square mile 1,850 square kilometers sheet of ice that's up to a mile 1.6 kilometers thick in places, which feeds more than 30 glaciers. Meanwhile, Spire Cove, pictured here, is filled with craggy rock towers which seem to float on the water's surface, topped by gravity-defying spindly trees. At the edge of the Kenai Peninsula lies a land where the Ice Age lingers. Nearly 40 glaciers flow from the Harding Icefield, Kenai Fjord's crowning feature. Wildlife thrives in icy waters and lush forests around this vast expanse of ice. Sugpiaq people relied on these resources to nurture a life entwined with the sea. 13. Yosemite National Park, California. Vertiginous granite peaks, awe-inspiring waterfalls and clearer-than-clear freshwater lakes are just some of the many treasures to be found in Yosemite National Park. This 1,189 square mile 3,080 square kilometers region in east-central California became America's third national park in 1890, and today it's one of the most popular, usually attracting around 4 million visitors a year. Pictured are El Capitan left, an enormous dome rising 3,600 feet 100 m above the valley floor, and Bridal Veil Fall, which cascades for some 620 feet 189 m. Not just a great valley, but a shrine to human foresight, the strength of granite, the power of glaciers, the persistence of life, and the tranquility of the High Sierra. First protected in 1864, Yosemite National Park is best known for its waterfalls. 14. Na Pali Coast, Kauai, Hawaii. With its corrugated, knife-sharp cliffs, Na Pali Coast on the northern shore of Kauai is easily one of the world's most breathtaking shorelines. Stretching for 15 miles 24 kilometers between Polihale Beach and Key Beach, the emerald-tinged bluffs rise as high as 4,000 feet 119 m and are pocketed with caves and waterfalls. Experienced hikers can walk the 11-mile 18 kilometers Kalala Trail for unbeatable views across the cliffs and of the nearby Hanaho Na Pali Natural Area Reserve. Na Pali Coast stretches 15 miles along the northwest coast of Kauai between Kui Beach in Haina State Park to Polihale State Park in Mana. This rugged coast will leave you breathless as you gaze upon the Pali High Cliffs that rise as much as 4,000 feet 1,200 m above the Pacific Ocean, sea caves, lush green valleys and cascading waterfalls that journey to the shores from thousands of feet above. 15. Glacier National Park, Montana. Northwestern Montana's Glacier National Park is a joy to look at year-round. But spring and summer are especially spectacular, when wildflowers including glacier lilies, clematis and Indian pipes add a smattering of bright color amid the lush green grasses. It's no wonder Glacier is nicknamed the crown of the continent. Its valleys and dramatic mountains are some of North America's most beautiful. A showcase of melting glaciers, alpine meadows, carved valleys, and spectacular lakes. With over 700 miles of trails, Glacier is a paradise for adventurous visitors seeking wilderness steeped in human history. Relive the days of old through historic chalets, lodges, and the famous Going to the Sun Road.